Maybe one day I won't see it or hear it.
The Mysterious Affair at Styles is a twisty, turny murder mystery.
Monsieur, Mesdames, as you all know, I was called in by Monsieur Jean to investigate this case.
It's Agatha Christie's first mystery. That began the sort of whodunit genre, really.
This is how you repay me, by bringing disgrace upon our name.
Every single character's got a secret. Even if they're not the killer, they've got something they're hiding.
Why should I help you when you've let the murderer loose?
I agree with you, Hastings. Women can kill as well as men.
Poirot, do you know who the murderer is?
The world is burning. Chaos is taking over, and it will not stop. There is no order, nothing in its right place.
The first scene is a scene that people might not be expecting from a Poirot. We're seeing Poirot trying to make the journey to the UK because he's a refugee and actually getting rejected at the dock because there's a lot of corruption.
Help! Thief! Here, monsieur. Extortion. This officer is stealing from passengers. Turn out his pockets, you shall find the truth.
And your name is?
Hercule Poirot. I think, personally, having done this, he sort of can smell it. He can smell the guilty. And I find that sort of why I think we love him is because he's so many steps ahead of you. And more importantly, he's ahead of the reader, the audience.
What's amazing about Peter Dinklage playing Poirot is it's quite a different sort of Poirot than what I've seen before or heard. It's almost like he is a cowboy coming into town. He's very cool. He's very cool, Poirot. I think Poirot is nerdy sometimes. Sometimes people lean into the comedy of Poirot and the nerdiness of him. But actually sometimes Poirot is using that as a trick to destabilise people. And so that's really fascinating to see Peter doing that.
He knows that if you apply too much emotion into finding the answers to these mysteries, it'll cloud your judgment. I'm sort of the opposite, so I appreciated that about dipping my toes into that way of thinking about things, that sort of solving the puzzle in a very clinical way and with humor. So yeah, he's a lot of fun.
We just thought we'd have a little chat so that we're not doing the same chats 20 times. This is about sort of being true to Agatha Christie and all the fans out there that will be like, that's my favourite author, but also modernising it and kind of really bringing it to life.
Mother? Mother, are you okay? Mother, what's ever the matter?
Sounds like she's having some kind of fit, but her door's locked and we can't get in. We sent the car out for the doctor.
Mother! Mother! Hastings!
John, what's going on?
The door's locked from the inside.
Any other way in?
There are doors on the inside too. These 3 rooms are connected. Right, Lawrence, you try Cynthia's room. Hastings, follow me.
Dr. Bernstein, help her!
Oh, God.
Please, help her!
Move aside. Let me through.
Doctor, what do I do? What do I do?
Stand back, John.
All right.
She stopped breathing. I'd like to try to get her breathing again. Will you let me?
Yes, all right. Anything. Come on.
Come on now, Mrs. Inglethorpe.
Oh, God.
Try to breathe, please. 1, 2,
Please, Doctor.
3.
Oh, God.
If you could only... Mrs. Inglethorpe,
Come on,
please.
try again.
1,
Keep trying, Doctor.
2, 3.
Oh, God.
Please. Mrs. Inglethorpe. I'm sorry. She's gone.
The whole thing rests on the believability of that death, really, and how shocking it is to witness. And we even did a sort of very rudimentary CPR sort of scene just to kind of get a believability of like someone dying in real time.
I didn't have time enough to die.
Oh, really?
I just did a scream and then everyone said I was dead. I think I should have a bit more of a... it says gasps and falls silent, and that didn't sort of... I didn't feel I'd done it.
was brilliant. Thank you. Woo!
Hammer horror.
She's this matriarch across the piece, and even when she's dead, she's still there. Her presence is still felt, so it needed to be this sort of very weighty presence, so it had to be Harriet, really.
I'd never done this kind of a, Audible project, and I thought, was curious.
Mother, I've brought good old Hastings to see you.
Mr. Hastings, how delightful to see you again.
They're trying to make it as real as possible, as immediate and as sort of loose and conversational, where it's conversational, not saying, oh, it's period, so I'm going to talk very formally and not be real and I'll be a robot. It's kind of got ums and ers and an overlapping conversation with one another and things like that.
John told you about my darling Alfred, I suppose.
He did.
This is Mr. Inglethorpe.
Delighted to meet you, Mr. Hastings. And what a day you've chosen. You arrive in a summer blaze and set the world alight.
Oh, Alfred is so well read.
Alfred was always going to be this very theatrical character. You can't really trust anything he says, and what he's saying with his mouth is not what he's doing. And Rob just came in and was just so funny playing this character.
Alfred, how could you behave like that, honestly?
I can't help myself.
You give quite the wrong impression. Well, you're dreadful. You are dreadful.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I suppose I am.
I mean, the actors are just so fantastic. Every single characterisation just leaps out.
I've shared my most shameful secrets. I was a ruined man. I betrayed my wife. I was at the lowest point in my life. But I could never hurt anyone I loved.
John is like the heart of this piece. Phil was just phenomenal at playing that and getting to those different layers of the character.
One of the great things about recording audio dramas is that you kind of always have this rotation of people coming into the studio. You're in and out, and it's a really fun, vibrant way of doing it. Getting to record with some of these people is nuts.
I'll write it in stone to be sure you don't get the money. You don't deserve it.
Father would be ashamed.
Good, get out. It's you he'd be ashamed of. Go on, out of my sight.
Yes, I'm going.
Jessica Gunning came in and played Evie, and she's just phenomenal.
You're right. Evie Howard is on the side of justice. I shall help you. Let the cost be what it may.
They're acting off other actors instead of just in an isolated booth. So it feels really good to have people to bounce off. And also just in the space, it feels great because you're not kind of boxed in. So it feels quite natural and you're able to kind of make eye contact and also hear the people in the other booth as well.
No, I studied medicine. It's a natural interest.
Poisons are a natural interest to you.
John Bradley plays Lawrence, who is this rather tortured and poetic soul who also lives at Styles. It's John's brother, and he has his own secrets that he's keeping. Vivian Oparah plays Cynthia, who, again, is a sort of outsider, but she brings this real breath of fresh air to this family.
I think I should leave Styles.
No, why would you? No one here wants you to go.
Mary does. She hates me.
That can't be true.
It is. I don't know why, but she hardly says a word to me.
Patsy Ferran is playing Mary, who is like the rather glamorous and icy wife of John, who is this tragic but glamorous figure.
Hastings, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but you don't seem like a natural soldier. What are you drawn to? Everyone has something, and it's usually absurd.
You'll laugh at me.
Oh, well, maybe I will.
I've always wanted to be a detective. Hastings is a soldier during the war, and he's returned home. He's taken some shrapnel, so he's recovering. But I think it's also, had an effect on his mind. He's really dealing with some traumatic incidents, and one specific incident that is haunting him. It won't always be like this. I have to believe that. But part of me is still back there in those trenches, waiting, fighting, trying to fight.
First World War is not explicit in the book in that it's not set in the battlefield, but you have it very much in the background, and I think particularly actually in this dramatisation, you have it in Hastings, and you can see the impact that his injuries and actually his experiences on the front line have had with him.
In a sense, he's Poirot's trainee, so he's kind of he's trying to learn the ropes, how to be a detective. He's not quite getting it right. Poirot's always a few steps ahead of him, but at the same time, he's a very injured, very sincere sort of person. And as soon as John gets into trouble, he thinks it's his responsibility to save him, really, in the way that he couldn't save his fellow soldiers. He thinks he's going to save John.
There's a character who has PTSD and he's back from the front and he's descending into kind of madness while this murder happens, and it's supposed to be where he's convalescing, and it's just everything's like off kilter. So these songs are kind of, they become like false, false bravura, false kind of hope.
Let no tears add to their hardship as the soldiers pass along. And although your heart is breaking, make it sing this.
What was really exciting when we started thinking about this and talking to Alice was the idea that we wanted a lot of references to the time, but also to try and create a kind of timeless, contemporary, emotional zone for it as well.
The music is going to be really fascinating because it's this blend of very sort of psychological stuff, and then we've got that mixed in with some actual First World War songs, which we've got modern vocal versions of, which are really haunting and a bit folk horror-y. It's quite gothic in a sense.
So I need you guys to go. Yeah, as sharp as you can. That's great.
Do you want it held?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, and yeah, just like you were doing.
These kind of ghostly voices sort of represents the collective trauma of the characters, really. We'd invited this amazing group of singers down. They're very interested in using their voices in a more textural way than just singing in a kind of traditional choral landscape. It was really special to be with them and with Joe in the same space. A phrase that we used quite early on and quite often was this idea of a chamber thriller. It's so English, this world that these characters are in. We wanted to use cellos and violins to kind of have that like drawing room feel and then deconstruct it. So we always talked about a warped quartet, and just so happens that Joe, who was my co-writer, is an amazing cellist and I play the violin. So, you know, between us we're a string quartet, and we wanted the cello really to be Poirot's sound as well, so the theme is on the cello.
The music just sounds really stunning, which is unsurprising, but it's always amazing to hear something fresh and really emotional already, you know, the minute it begins. And the soundscape, you know, the sounds of war, and the atmosphere of the port where we begin, it was all there, and that's the skill of our amazing audio engineers and sound recordists.
It actually blows my mind, the cast we have got for this, and I think that is testimony to what Audible are trying to do with these dramatisations. They're trying to lift audio to a completely different level, and I think they're doing that.
I fell in love with Poirot doing this project. You only have your voice to rely on. I found that to be fascinating, and I think more actors should explore the different variations on your voice to change from character to character.
It's a dream come true, really, to be a part of an Agatha Christie storytelling. We've had amazing actors and amazing writing and an amazing director.
All Agatha Christie's are like some sort of brain training. You know, she was a genius. So there's loads to get your teeth into in terms of like the twists and turns of the journey.
She is the best-selling author, bar the Bible and Shakespeare, and that's for a reason.
I think it's a really great script, a really great adaptation, and it feels classic and modern at the same time.
It's going to be this world that's scary but also cosy and also familiar but also strange, and I think it's just going to be a real treat for the audience, really.